entrance only. So the first part is open in the middle, but covered on the side walls for an arcade. And then you come here, this is the real synagogue. You can see how large of a synagogue that is. Probably a couple thousand people could be contained in it, if not a bit more than that. And it had a slanted roof of brick, which is not there anymore, but that roof of brick would be supported by pedestal where Tom is about to sit now, right? This is one of the pedestals, and then more of the pedestals on each side. Now, once you enter, you look back, you see those niches, 1 and 2. Within those niches, there were wooden cupboards where they kept the Torah scrolls, and they will be taken out of them with, utmost care, and will be exposed to public on certain days of sermon. But what is interesting here, they did a great job restoring one of the walls to show you how the rest of the walls in the synagogue look like. And look at the beautiful quality of the marble mosaics on the walls. None of them are completely original. Few pieces of those mosaic panels are originals, but the rest of them are restored with the new material, but according to the exact modeling from a good 2,000 years ago. And then when you look all the way up, do you see a writing in Greek? Those writings would go all along the walls this way, all along the walls on the other way. And you know what they are? Donors of the church, donors of the synagogue from 2,000 years ago. They put the donors' names, sponsors' names by the courtyard for restoration to honor them. They did the same 2,000 years ago, honoring the builders here. The mosaics are all originals, and that building on the right-hand side, which we are going to come close to after our reading of the letter, but let me tell you what was it. That's the town hall. Town hall, meaning the synagogue is from the Roman period. Town hall is from the Roman period. We call it Roman Imperial Hall. So the people living here after Christ, the first, second, third, and more centuries, they are maybe major Greeks and Lydians, with some Romans in the city, but the rulers are Roman. Who is the king in Rome? Whoever he was, this sculpture will be in the middle of the rounded arch on the second story. So they know who their patrons are in Roman age. That's why that is called Imperial Hall or Town Hall. And the city's judges, and they were mainly Romans, who would deal, with criminal cases, with, disputes here and there, would generally be present in that building like a mobile courthouse to solve the problems in the city. And then you see one of us, I think, in the next area, right by the fig tree. Are those some of us? No, another group. A couple there. Okay. That huge area, and as you walk, you'll see it. This huge area to your right was the area of a gymnasium. From the Greek period, what is a gymnasium? Gymnasium is an open courtyard surrounded by columns on four corners of it, where young, naked Greek athletes would do their daily training, like, racing, wrestling, and then when they had breaks from those bodily, workouts, there'll be, mobile, I will say, professors in this area, mobile philosophers in this area, who will teach those young men about philosophical issues of the Greek world. Now, what is interesting, how come you have this huge Greek gymnasium, this open courtyard, with naked men practicing, basically, although it's a gymnasium, although it's a school, next to a synagogue like that? Well, two theories. Probably by the time this lot was purchased as a synagogue by major Jews in the city, this courtyard was not anymore maybe in use, but rather it became maybe a marketplace. like one of those agoras. And the second, synagogue walls did never have windows looking into a place with naked bodies. They don't know the answer yet, but those are suggestions. Now what we can do, we can go to the altar area. Oh, sorry, here is one pedestal base. Here is another and two more. So that is the area of the pulpit for a priest in the synagogue to give his sermon. This very area. The pulpit is gone, the pedestals only remain. And then there is this other table right here. This is again not original altogether, only this section where Jay is reclining. There are partial pieces of marble here and there, but this is marble original, for example, those eggs. But the rest is really restoration according to some of the originals found in other sites. This is a kind of an altar table where you will probably do readings from the Torah for the crowds. And they added up an auditorium of marble here in this section, probably for the church, synagogue priests to sit and to sit on certain days and to have their meetings in the synagogue. And please remember, before Jay takes over, the first arrival of the Jews into the lands of Asia Minor in general goes back to the time of Nebuchadnezzar, the first exile of Jews. Yes, they were settled in Babylonia, but some of them had found their ways into this land, and they become minor but strong parts of Greco-Roman cities, and they always contributed to the flourishing trade in those Greco-Roman cities. And Roman authorities, they never really forced the Jews to go to a Greek or the Roman temple to worship goddess Artemis or god Zeus or so, because those people were very well known that they are so very well rooted in their faith for centuries long, and they were left alone on their own. Am I making sense? They're a different category of people. So let them alone. As long as they pay their taxes to the Romans, don't bother with them. They have a different god, Yahweh, and let them do what they want to do. But if you're a Greek or Roman or Phrygian or Lydian and you're not worshiping one of the gods or the goddesses of the city, they would blame you because you didn't go to the temple, you didn't sacrifice an animal, you didn't just do your ritual. This is why an earthquake hit your city. This is why there's a drought that year. You see, there were double standards, in other words, which worked in favor of the Jews, who are in major part, are also becoming soon Christians.